I love learning new things. And sometimes, to keep learning, it's good to step away. And that's what I did a couple of weeks ago. I did a survival camp in the Pyrenees. So those are mountains at the south of France. And for 3 days, we had no food, and this instructor trying to teach us how to survive into the ride. But still, one evening, in the middle of nowhere, there was this guy, part of the group, this engineering student, and he found a way to ask me one question about technology. And his question was, what is true about AI? So, well, I'm not sure I did provide him with a very accurate answer. At that time, I was more focusing on collecting wood to set up a fire and try to survive because it was pretty cold out there. But still, that guy has a point, and it was a fair question. And we hear a lot of things about AI. There is a lot of noise, and it is very difficult to identify the right signals and differentiate them from the noise. And some people go even beyond, and they talk about the fourth industrial revolution. But I think that if that was true, we would have seen more value creation for both people and businesses. And for instance, in France, I did not notice a 30% GDP increase right now. I mean, otherwise, our prime ministers will stay a bit longer in France, like more than 2 days, for instance. But let's not go that way, and let's not talk about politics today. Let's focus on business and opportunities. And in the next 15 minutes, I really want to focus on the signal and on what is true and concrete. And I believe that as telco, we need to enable that technology revolution to become one day an industrial one. So one of the questions we should answer today at Mplify is, what is the true impact of AI on digital infrastructure? And as VP Digital Infrastructure at Orange Business, I focus on 3 things, the 3 C: connectivity, cloud, and cybersecurity. So let's start with cyber first, because this is the most pressing issue for our customers right now. So imagine that you want to use AI in your company. I know it sounds really bold and crazy, but imagine you want to use AI in your company. There are 3 main challenges that you need to overcome first. You may want to fine-tune a model, and you are going to do it with your business-critical data. And of course, with AI, the true value comes from that private data. But you don't want your business-critical data to leak out later by mistake. So this is the data exfiltration risk. And once you secured your models, you are going to put them into the hands of your users. But we all know that they are not going to use them. They are going to use non-authorized tools. That's for sure, that's guaranteed. And according to the 2025 MIT research, pretty much every employee at the workplace is using those non-authorized tools. So if you are looking to the person sitting next to you, they are likely to use those non-authorized tools. And so are you, by the way. So this is called shadow AI. So I talked about models, but I did not mention yet the 2025 buzzword, agents, of course. And agents, tomorrow, they will be part of your teams. They will have access to tool, and they will be able to take decisions on their own. So that's why I think that they should follow the security policies of your organization. And today, let's be honest, that's not the case. So that's why we think at Orange that it's one of the major threats of tomorrow, and this is called agent authentication. So our responsibility as telco in the industry is first to have the right conversations with customers, educate them, and raise awareness. And second, it's about identifying the right partners to embark the technology into our core infrastructure. So for us, this is an opportunity to capture the value and help our customer go at scale with AI. So let's talk about the second C now, the cloud. Hyperscalers and neo-cloud providers right now in 2025, when they build infrastructure, they focus on 3 dimensions: electricity availability, compute availability, and real estate. And we saw a couple of months ago that OpenAI and Microsoft, they invested heavily in Norway in Europe. And it's a big shift for us in Europe because they invested far away from the business-as-usual locations, such as Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, or even London. So we're in Norway, right? I think it's a fair question. They did not invest there because of the beautiful fjords of Norway, but they invested there because green electricity is massively available, because real estate is not expensive, especially if you compare to locations such as Paris or London. And third, because most of the AI workload, they can tolerate higher latency. So those are physical constraints, but there are as well geopolitical ones now. And in Europe, in every conversation I have with our customers, they mention sovereignty now. So they want to know to what extent they are exposed. They want to know what is the impact on their businesses if some services are stopped or blocked in the countries where they operate. So in a nutshell, they want to be more resilient to ensure the business continuity. And for us, this is the second opportunity to capture the value and leverage our expertise and experience in managing a large-scale infrastructure and deliver trusted cloud services to them. So let's talk about the last C now, the connectivity. But first, I would like to ask you one question. Question about the mobile network, the mobile infrastructure in France. So according to you, what is the percentage of traffic on the mobile network that is generated by AI tools in France in June 2025? So if you think that the right peak is around 0%, answer A, please raise your hand. OK, I can see a couple of hands, maybe 5 or 6. If you think that the right peak is answer B, around 10%, please raise your hand. OK, more hands, dozens of hands. And what about answer C, 30%? OK, so majority clearly voted and picked answer C. And the right one is answer A. It's around 0%, 0.1% exactly, on the mobile network in France in June 2025. So how could we explain that? Network growth has always been driven by B2C and human interaction. And as human beings, we generate content by consuming videos on platforms such as Netflix or Apple TV, or on social networks. And in the meantime, we interact with LLM through text, not audio or not video. And remember that in 2024, it was the buzz around the multimodal AI adoption, but it seems it was more noise rather than signal. So right now, we could say that our current network infrastructure stack is good enough for AI. However, this is going to be very different in the agentic AI era. And we will switch from human beings consuming videos to billions of agents interacting together at scale in an autonomous way. And those agents, they are going to introduce volatility. And it is very different from our behaviors as human beings. Like, we are very predictable animals. Think about what you do in the morning at the office. Sit at your desk, open the laptop, check your email, go on LinkedIn to see what your CEO posted last night. And then maybe if you are not in the mood, you'll go on Instagram to check what your nephews have done during the weekend. And if you're a bit younger, it's not Instagram, OK, it's TikTok. If you're a bit older, it's Facebook. But I think you get my point. We are very predictable animals, and agents, they are not. So they are going to generate and introduce this volatility. This is going to generate new traffic pattern, and that's what we call the Internet of Agents. So the next question for us then is, how do we capture the value? And we have seen that movie already, right? We invested heavily in 4G, 5G fiber, and we ended up creating value for others. I mean, we created value for TikTok, Microsoft, or Google. But we did not capture the true value, right? So how could we learn from our mistakes that we did in the past? Well, we believe at Orange that our answer as an industry should be network as a service. And that's why we are all here today in Dallas at Mplify. And network as a service is more than technology. It's about shifting our business model. And at some point, we should all become here platform companies to capture the value. And when I was preparing that keynote, I wanted to say something like, you know, network as a service will be a game changer for us, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it is. I think it is a necessity for us to remain in the race and be part of the few players that are going to build the Internet of Agents. So our responsibility is not to deliver the solution of others through our big pipes. It's more than that. It's about augmenting those solutions and orchestrating those solutions through our platform. And that's what we did at Orange, and we grew from dozens of customers last year to hundreds of customers this year on our platform. So in short, this is our answer to how do we capture the value and how do we build the Internet of Agents. So network as a service and platformization, this is key, of course. But let's not forget about the North Star. And North Star for us in our industry should remain meeting customer needs. So does AI change customer needs? I don't think so. I think the needs of our customer are remaining the same. And before traveling here to Dallas, I was shopping around at Leroy Merlin in France. So Leroy Merlin is a company similar to Home Depot here in the US. So I was there to buy some screws to fix a pane at my place. And yeah, sometimes I do normal stuff on weekends, not only about survival camp and so on. And I was wondering whether their needs are changing or not, and I don't think so. Leroy Merlin, like Home Depot, they want to grow without friction, meaning that when they want to open a new shop, it should be done in a matter of days, and digital infrastructure should be ready by day one. They still want to elevate their employee and customer experience, of course. Now they do it with AI, but the goal remains the same. And they still want to ensure business continuity. So if you are shopping around at Home Depot, you should be able to pay by card anytime. Otherwise, it's like the shop is closed. So in a nutshell, the needs of our customers are remaining the same. We keep answering to the same customer needs, but in a different way, thanks to NaaS and thanks to platformization. So if there is one thing to remember from all of this, network as a service, it is more than a technology shift. It's a shift in terms of business model for us, and we should become platform companies. But let's keep in mind that all our customers, they are surrounded by tech companies who want to sell to them their next SaaS solution. So let's not be one more vendor, and let's remain the trusted partner who help customers in moments that matter. And we believe at Orange that being that trusted partner, especially in the complex geopolitical context right now, it means offering customers with more choices so that they become more resilient. So in short, this is our answer to how do we capture the value and how do we build the Internet of Agents. So next time a guy in the middle of nowhere in the forest or somewhere else asks you what is true about AI, just tell him to set up a fire and try to survive. Thank you very much.